Were you living in Harvie Heights the whole time?
Living in Harvie Heights since 1956.
Now, were you only allowed to live in the summer?
No. I mean, that whole business was on paper, but, you know, the Harvie Heights story was very interesting because there was only John Smith, who had built here, I think, in 1953.
Right.
I came in here in 1955 and had a look around. In 1956, I got my lot up here, which Beanie has,
Right.
and built this A-frame.
Yeah.
And somehow the lots were, at that time, on a lease basis, 99 years for $25 a year. But later on you could buy them outright, and they were terribly expensive. They were $175 a lot. so I naturally scrounged up $175 and bought my lot. Okay, and John Smith came to me and he said, you know, John Lehman really shouldn't represent Harvie Heights, because he's also a very good friend of the mayor of Canmore, Paul Andrews. And there's a talk going on about Harvie Heights becoming part of Canmore.
Yeah, that's true.
And so John Smith said, I want you to run. I said, this is something else.
Yeah.
So I put in my papers, and you actually disqualified John Lehman.
I did. Yeah.
Yes, because he was not a Canadian citizen.
He was not happy.
So I ended up being the advisory board member for Harvie Heights.
Yeah.
And the first thing Paula said to me after the election, oh, now that you're in there, I think we can do some business together. And I said, well, as long as it doesn't involve you annexing Harvie Heights, everything else we can do. And that was the last of our friendship. And then it went on and on. John Lehman finally left Harvie Heights.
Yeah.
He worked here still for quite a while with Lafarge.
He fell off a boxcar.
Yeah, and was badly injured or something. Yeah. And well, we went on and on and on with our advisory board, and soon the main push was actually Lorraine Fraser. We should incorporate.
Right.
And I was all for it.
Yeah.
But the two northern councillors were not so interested in it.
Right.
The rural area, they figured, had nothing to do with the urban area, Harvie Heights and Deadman's Flats and Lac des Arcs. But we did go to all of these conferences, and during one of the conferences, 450 councillors, you know, and advisory board members in one room, and the minister sitting up in the front there, big conference in Edmonton. Robin Slater got up and totally insulted the Minister of Municipal Affairs. And here we sat, you know, cowering. Well, incorporation came along, and there was finally an agreement from both Tanis and Stair. We never knew where Robin Slater was going to go.
Right.
And naturally Lorraine and me, and so finally incorporation came about. And we went into Edmonton to sign the whole thing and everything. And when it was announced where the boundaries, the borders were, the green area was excluded.
Right.
And the reason for the green area exclusion was simply because the minister had been hurt so badly that he was so embarrassed from one of our council members that he excluded the entire green area.
Which is the Crown land.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
forestry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it basically meant now was that Harvie Heights was on an island. Because behind us was not MD,
It's green area.
and we had given up all this land to the little creek here to keep Paula happy, so she would not run to the minister every week to try to get a hold of Harvie Heights.
Right.
So the agreement was made, we let you come up to here, and Harvie Heights stays by itself. But Harvie Heights now was an island, and was really in danger of being gobbled up.
There was a risk there for sure.
It's a big risk there, yeah. So, who was the minister of
Julian
medicine?
Kozak?
No, the veterinarian doctor,
Oh, Steve West.
Steve
West.
Steve West. Steve West was Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Yeah.
And we were in Edmonton again. Lorraine Fraser was away and I was acting. And I went in to see Steve West, and he had his assistant, my gosh, what's his name again?
Oh, Jack Davis.
Jack Davis
Yeah.
with him, yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew Jack Davis through the Alpine Club and all of this other stuff. And Steve West said to me, "What's on your mind?" And I said, "You know the green area back there? It doesn't make any sense that it is an improvement district and that you still administer it, I think out of Innisfail or somewhere.
Yeah.
Why don't you give it to us? We have an office, we have staff, we have everything, we can look after the whole thing. We have the money because we have the heavy industry, and it takes it off your platform, and we can look after it much, much better than somebody out in the distance who doesn't really know anything about the MD or Bighorn." And so he looked at Jack and said, "What do you think about it?" And he said, "Sure, why not?" He says, "Okay, sign up, make up the papers and get in here and sign them." And that was it, boom, it was done. So suddenly Harvie Heights was now connected to the Bighorn again. It was really funny. And it took about 5 minutes to get
Plus the MD tripled in size.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know. And it took 5 minutes to do this, you know. So I was very happy. And when Lorraine came back, I said to her, "Lorraine, I have some news. What's the news?" I said, "We got all this land now." Wow. So that was the MD of Bighorn. And then I stayed on council for a long time.
Yeah.
But you know, there were the Friels in
Yes.
in
Deadman's.
Deadman's Flats. And every night I came home, I had a nasty message on my answering machine from the Friels. And then also from other people. And I really tried, you know, to be nice to everybody. Couldn't do it. One day I was in Lake Louise and was with friends and had a lovely evening. I came home. And I had about 3-4 nasty messages on the machine, and they said, "That's it, finished, goodbye." And I never ran again. It was the end of it.
You were followed by Sharon, right? Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon Lipinski.
Yeah.
And the minute after I left, there was this big financial disaster.
Oh yeah.
The guy who embezzled, what was it, $1.5 million?
Neil Nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the RCMP corporate crime outfit phoned me, and I said, "Listen, don't talk to me. I'm not on council anymore. Talk to all the other ones." So
There's a story there for sure.
that was a big story, yeah.